going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. If you've not watched before, a lot of backlog of obscure vehicles. If you like it, subscribe, like, comment, etc. MGBGT. But we're here for a reason today. I bought another car. Boom! I bought a 91 LX 5.0. I love these cars. I've had several of these cars. I've had from everything from a 1980 Capri RS Turbo, a couple 85 GTs, 89 notchback, 92 convertible. I've never had an LX 5.0. I've mostly had 4i cars. I've only had 2 Aero nose cars. And it's my favorite color, which is Calypso. Just because the first fast car I ever rode in, was actually a Calypso 1992 LX 5.0. That was for my brother's graduation. I was 8 years old. My Uncle Kenny had come out from Maryland. Drove one of these. It was an automatic car. And it was the first time I've ever been pushed back in the seat of a vehicle. So a lot of kind of sentimental value there. Plus, I'm 41 years old, so these cars are kind of that era. They're my era's Tri-5 Chevy. I'm not going to go over the specs. You guys know most of them. I don't know if the color is coming through great in the video. It sure does look light from where I'm sitting, but maybe that's just the view of the lens. It looks a lot lighter than it is. So you can see, nice stock original interior right down to the radio. Just rolled over 94,000 miles. There is some evidence of wear. See the floor mat. I have new floor mats. They're actually here today. This car is pretty much stock appearing. It even has rear drum brakes, although it is 5-lug swapped on these 98 Cobra wheels. Bassani, X-Pipe, Flowmaster 40s, Flowmaster tips. It does have 13-inch brakes up front, which are one of the cheaper upgrade options that just use a later model caliper. But it does have a little extra. The engine is stock, other than a low boost Vortex supercharger. I think they call this the entry level kit. So it's 5 pounds, small pulley, nothing crazy. You can see the rest of the engine bay is pretty much stock except for the caster camber plates. So in a SVE aluminum radiator, which I guess is a nice little benefit to keep the vehicle cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it under the hood. But the one thing I really don't like about this car is, for one thing, the wheel fitment. We're poking a little in the front while sitting in a little in the rear, which, yeah, that's just not really the look you're usually going for in a car like this. It's nice to have a pretty flush, or at least even front to rear stance. And I'm not in love with the 98 Cobras. This car came in with $10,000 in receipts from the previous owner for the wheels, tires, brakes. It has all new Coney orange shocks all the way, struts in the front, and SR lowering springs, the supercharger, handful of other things, and the wheels just aren't quite it for me. This is like, to me, to be honest with you, they're kind of played out. And what I noticed when I was doing some investigation is these are actually 94 to 04 SN95 spec wheels, which explains the fitment issues. This car does have 95 front spindles, but again, still way off from flush. So, pardon my mess here. I do work on my own stuff and make a mess in the process. I picked up some 17-inch 10 holes from LMR. Wheel and tire packages with center caps. A little smear on there. Gotta get really picky because they're brand new. Well, now that's a hole wiped down, so I'll do that gently with a carbon or a microfiber in a minute. So I went with like the Sumitomo wheel and tire kit. This is 17 by 8, 17 by 9, 245, 45, 275, 40, 17, front and rear, which is the same tire size that's on it now, but with the appropriate fitment for the Fox body, so that the back spacing and stuff is just a little different on these wheels. And I'll be curious not only what it looks like, but what the fitment is. But for me, I know a 91 LX 5.0 would have came on ponies. I know. And I love 17-inch ponies, but they've been around a long time, and I've wanted an excuse to buy 17-inch 10 holes so bad. I didn't think I'd buy another Fox. This one just kind of happened. So I wanted the excuse, I'm gonna do it. I like the look, and I think it'll kind of give it that OEM plus vibe that I'm going for with this car. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead, get everything out, get the jack out, swap the wheels, and then we'll see what it looks like. And you guys can tell me in the comments if it was a ruin or an improve. I think you really just can't go wrong with the classic look of a 10-hole, but we'll see. I haven't really seen them on that many newer LX 5.0s. Seen them on some 4i stuff, so let's find out. I'll get them mounted, and by the time you see it again, it'll be transformed into probably what I think is nearly perfect. One last look with the Cobras, because I can't think of any reason they'll ever go back on. All right, so these are the 98 Cobras and 17-inch 10 holes. Honestly, I gotta say, right off the bat, love the look. It really didn't quite bring the wheels in flush. I'd say it's about the same. It's a little bit of poke in the front, but that's probably from the 95 spindles. But overall, I can't help it. I love the look. They really nailed the proportions with these wheels. You know, you've got the deeper lip in the back. Fitment's just a little nicer. It sticks out just a little further away from the tailpipe, it seems. I'm really happy with the look of it. I think it looks fantastic. But, you know, I'm from this era, so I know, again, in 1990 would have had pony wheels, but I really have been wanting an excuse to get these for quite a long time. Anybody who's looking, man, I think if you've got a stock, you know, box body, and you're looking for 10-hole wheels, don't even hesitate. And honestly, it's a bargain with wheels and tires. It's like a $1,500 kit shipped. The Sumatumos, whatever, they're whatever. They're definitely a middle of the road tire, but that's what the last wheels had, and honestly, the car hooked up and drove really nice, so I was totally fine with it. They also make a Nitto package, but the NT555 G2s are probably pretty equivalent. They're nothing special. I've had them on some Vets and other cars, Mach 1. They're nothing special. Again, well, I guess call it a wrap on this. That's the wheels, really, and I guess kind of an introduction to the car. I'll fire it up for a second, see if we can hear the supercharger. Probably not much, but why not? We're here. Also, my new floor mats. Those really help the look, keeping things fresh. And again, it's a driver quality car. It's not perfect by any means. Sometimes I think the EGR, the intake air sensor, maybe it's a little off because it does surge a little bit at cold idle. The supercharger is a pretty quiet one. I mean, you can probably hear it a little bit there. I can hear it. Hopefully it comes through in the audio. Of course, everybody loves it if you're my age. That the sound of a 5.0, really with any exhaust, sounds fantastic. Whether it's stock exhaust, Flowmaster 40s, these 44s, great. And I didn't mention before, but the car also has a 355 gear, 31 spline with drum brakes, but it's a nice upgrade and a new rear diff. So all that was done really for me. All I've done, I did an oil change just because he said he did, but why not do another? I'm just gonna cruise it. So I appreciate you guys watching the video. If you enjoyed it, you know, I hope you did. Give it a like, give it a subscribe. If you want to see a driving video with this car, feel free to let me know. I'd be happy to make one. I know box bodies are they're cool, but there's probably a million driving videos. But either way, if you guys want it, I'll make it. And I appreciate you guys watching. Man, I love that look. All right, appreciate you guys watching and have fun.